Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today I wanted to do a different video. I wanted to recap the games last night because we had an exciting, great slate of games last night, some good performances. First, I want to start out with the Portland Trail Blazers against the Jazz, where Damian Lillard lit up the Jazz for 60 points. I want to talk about the Grizzlies and Warriors game that ended in a buzzer beater from Jordan Poole, and I also want to talk about the Lakers and Spurs, where we got to see the debut game of Rui Hachimura. And I also want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers. But first, let's talk about the Portland Trail Blazers and Dame's big game. It came up in a win, a 134-124 win for the Portland Trail Blazers. And like I said, Dame had 60, and he was hot. He was 21 for 29, which was 72%, was 9 for 15 from 3. And was still able to dish out 8 assists and had 7 rebounds. This is Damian Lillard's 4th 60-point game in his career, which ties him for 3rd for most 60-point games of all time, just behind Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bean Bryant. He was really hot. He had his highest scoring quarter in that game was the third quarter when he had 24. And you could tell he was hot in this one section of the game. It was like 3 minutes left in the third. The first shot he took was from 30. And I was watching the possessions, and it was through the Portland Trailblazer broadcast. It was zoomed in on him, not expecting for him to shoot a 3, and you just see him rise up, and you're like, where did he shoot that from? It was basically at the logo, and he made that. Next possession down, he shoots another 30-footer, misses that one. And he's like, let me relax, let me get into the lane and get a layup. He does that, and he's like, wait a minute. You know what? I'm actually hot. Let me pull up for 30 again, and he does that. That happened in a 2-minute span in the third quarter. He pulled it from 33 times, made 2 of them, and had 1 layup. I mean, he was just hot. It's ridiculous. But Damian Lillard, just during this month, he's been killing. He's averaging 34 points. I mean, when we look at his performances throughout this month, he had that 60-point game last night. He had a 50-piece. He had a 44-piece. He's just carrying this Portland Trailblazer team as usual. And when we just talk about Dame, it's like, is it selfish for us as fans to want to see him on a contending team? Because when the media interviews him and asks him if he wants to be traded, or when he addresses trade rumors, he just feels like it's disrespect or it's a slight to him. But just as fans, we want to see Damian Lillard on the biggest stage. We want to see him contend for a championship, at least have a fair shot at the championship. Because the best he could do was go to the Western Conference Finals, and the best player he's had was CJ McCollum. Obviously, no bum. I love CJ. But he was never an all-star. I mean, you can make the argument that he should have been an all-star, but Damian Lillard has never had a legit all-star next to him. And when we look at championship teams, contending teams, there's at least 2 all-stars on that team, and Damian Lillard hasn't had that. Going into and this season right now, the Blazers are 12th, so it's not looking up for them right now. We weren't expecting them by all means to contend with this roster, but we wanted to see them be competitive. The Portland Trailblazers are not doing that. So I hope Damian Lillard can get some help, because it looks like he's not going to get traded. Maybe get a Pascal Siakam. I've been seeing that. He's having an all-NBA season. Hopefully, I don't know what the package will look like because he's making a lot of money. Maybe Jeremy Grant, Nurkic, but then you're kind of cutting your depth too. So it's a confusing time in Portland. You want to surround Damian Lillard with the right pieces, so hopefully he can contend. And hopefully he can win a ring, because in my opinion, he's one of the players who is most deserving of having a ring. Next game I wanted to talk about is the Memphis Grizzlies and the Warriors. I think at this point as fans, we've accepted this as a rivalry, kind of started in the play-in days when it was back in 2021, when it was just Steph and Draymond. Clay hasn't came back, and that game to compete for the 8th spot, and then they had that play-in game to get into the playoffs. Ever since then, it's been spicy between these 2 teams. After the Warriors won that championship, you see Clay talking about Jaren Jackson, talking about he's a bum with the comments that Jaren Jackson had during the season. Then they're going back and forth on Twitter, and you can tell the 2 games that they've played this year, there's been something there. There's been some tension, and when you hear from what the players say, they kind of deflect on it. They don't admit that it's a rivalry. But I was listening to a Warriors podcast. That's me, a big Warrior fan, listening to the Warriors podcast even. After last night's game, they were going to have media availability for the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson did not want to speak to the media. So you could tell it stung for them to lose that game. And as a fan, the blood boils. You feel extra good. Obviously, the Warriors haven't had the season that you want them to have, but it kind of makes up for it when you can beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Not at full strength, too. But still, yeah, you can see it. I mean, you can see the emotions. It's been close games. This is a rival. This is a rival. This is a rivalry. It's a rivalry week. This is the reason why they paired these two teams this week. And I mean, Steph Curry had a great game. He had 34 points. John Morant had a 29 piece, but the Warriors were able to slow him down in the fourth. I believe he only had 4 points. But yeah, they were doing good, showing bodies every time John Morant was trying to drive. So when we talk about the last play, specifically like the last minute and a half when Steph Curry through his mouthpiece got ejected. I mean, the refs got to chill out, but I mean, I guess technically that is warranted as a ejection because he threw it towards the fans, but it wasn't in reaction of the refs. It was because Jordan Poole put up that dumb shot when they got the offensive rebound, 12 seconds left on the clock. They were up by 2. Jordan Poole has been, he's been making some dumb decisions here and there, and he got to relax. Good thing he made up for it with that game-winning layup. But yeah, it was good to see the team come out with a win. Next game I want to talk about is the Spurs and the Lakers. The Lakers beat the Spurs 113-104. Clutched up at the end. We're able to finish the game. Obviously, these are not two of the best teams, but we got to see AD come back. We got to see the debut of Rui Hachimura. I haven't said my opinion on the YouTube platform about Rui Hachimura, but I believe it's a really good pickup for the Lakers. I mean, he had a good debut. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and I think if he just basically does what he did last night for the rest of the season, it will be solid if Rui Hachimura can do that around 12.6 rebounds every night. He came off the bench last night, but still had 21 minutes. And I think whether Rui Hachimura starts or comes off the bench, I think he should end games because he adds that shooting ability. He's able to score, and he can help the Lakers finish off possessions by getting some rebounds. The Lakers added the big wing that they needed most. And then we also got to see Anthony Davis come back. Great game. Came off the bench too as well. Had 21 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. He almost got injured twice. I mean, he had a half-court shot where he almost rolled his ankle. I mean, I think he kind of did, but he stayed in the game. I don't know with Anthony Davis why he's always in potential of being in street clothes again. But it's glad to see him back. It's going to be exciting to see what the Lakers do because they made this move. They didn't move a lot. Just Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks for Rui Hachimura. I think was a great pickup for them. Addresses some of their needs. But let's see what else the Lakers will do going into the deadline. Obviously, they still have those 2 first-round picks. Russell Westbrook is there. I mean, in my opinion, I say don't trade him unless you can get a star. But, I mean, don't trade Russell Westbrook and the 2 picks unless you can get a star. Because I think Russell Westbrook has been very good for this team. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, they're still 13th in the West, but they're only a couple games back from being the fifth seed. So, the next game I wanted to talk about was the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. It was a 76ers win, 137-133. Now, I've been really amazed with Nick Claxton. He's been playing really tough. He's having a good stretch of games. When we talk about this game specifically, he was not backing down to Joel Embiid. He had that clean block on Joel Embiid where Joel Embiid fell on the ground, and then he started chirping at Nick Claxton. They're going back and forth. And obviously, we know Nick Claxton as like a rim protector, a good rebounder, but he was showing his offense. He was going at Joel Embiid, and through the stretch of games since KD has been out, Nick Claxton has been proving to be the second best player of the Brooklyn Nets team behind Kyrie. Obviously, Kyrie has been playing great. I mean, he had 48 against the Jazz. He had like 37 against the Warriors, had 30 last night. But Nick Claxton has been stepping up as that second best player when we were expecting it to be Ben Simmons. Obviously, with Ben Simmons, we always want more from him. I mean, he has the playmaking ability. He has the defensive ability. We're not asking Ben Simmons to average 20 because he's not a scorer, but we want to see him at least be aggressive. And in that first half, he was not showing that. He doesn't even look at the hoop. I mean, not even that first half, but throughout the season, he doesn't even look at the hoop. We just want to see him be aggressive. At least put a shot up. Try to get a foul. It looks like he's afraid to go to the free throw line. And when Nick Claxton, who's probably even, I don't know the data on it, who is a better free throw shooter, but Nick Claxton, I think he's probably, if not the worst, one of the worst free throw shooters in the league. He's not afraid to go to the free throw line, even though, there's the hack of Claxton. You know, they want to foul him. Nick Claxton is not afraid to go to the free throw line. And Ben Simmons, we just want to see you be aggressive, man, because you have the athleticism. You have the athleticism to dunk on people. But yeah, on the other side, James Harden, you know, he's been having an underrated season. He has, and he's not getting the credit I feel like he deserves. He ended the game out strong. He had some big shots, big step backs. He had that dagger layup at the end of the game. Kyrie too. I mean, 30 points. He was kind of slowed down in the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth, but he still had some tough layups. He had one where he was like floating. It was just, I'll put the clip in, but yeah, Kyrie Irving is doing what he does. You know, I don't know what to say. Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving. Still a top 5 point guard in the league, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you guys enjoyed this recap, hit that like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you guys think about the performances last night. But yeah, until next time, peace.